Welcome back to NB Media and Content. Today I'll be featuring the MGZST. In Australia, this is a very popular mid-size SUV because pricing starts from $26,990, which makes this a lower cost alternative to things like the Honda HR-V, Volkswagen T-Roc, the Ford Puma, and the Mitsubishi ASX. And in this review, I'll be telling you everything you need to know about it. I'm going to run you through the exterior design, interior features, I'll see how practical it is, try out its technology features, and lastly, I'm going to drive it. Okay, before we start, if you get value out of my content, please like it, share and subscribe. And I would also like to mention Southern Highland MG, who have allowed me to film their demonstrator. They are located in Vale, and if you'd like to get in contact with them for your next car purchase, I've linked their details in the description below. Today this will be a detailed review of the Excite model grade, which is second from the top, so let me show you around. There are 4 model grades to choose from and 2 engine choices. The Excite and the Essence will come with the turbocharged engine, whereas the Core and the Vibe will come with a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. Moving on to the exterior design, you have full LED front headlights with daytime running lights engraved into the casing, as well as a gloss black radiator grille with a bold MG badge in the center, and lastly some fog lights on the bottom of the bumper bar. And having a look at the side, as you can see, it features roof rails, gloss black wing mirrors, 17-inch alloy wheels which have a 2-tone finish, gloss black and brushed aluminium, and they are wrapped in Michelin tyres, and lastly complemented by the red brake calipers. And moving towards the rear design of the ZST, as you can see, it features full LED rear tail lights with a 3D effect and a rear diffuser. And overall for colours, there are 6 to choose from. Black and white are a no-cost option, and the rest are an additional $700. And this one is finished in diamond red metallic. And lastly, I would like to hear your feedback. What do you think of the overall design of the ZST? Let me know in the comments down below, but for now, I'm going to move on to the interior. Okay, moving on to the interior inside the MGZST. So overall, pretty simple design layout, pretty appropriate for a car in this segment. You've got some nice touch points on the dashboard, soft touch materials along here with this carbon fibre look, as well as the carbon fibre look on the doors and soft padding on this armrest. We've also got this little MG badge, which I really like. So for a car in this price point, it does feel very well put together. And in terms of key features specific to this model grade, it comes with synthetic leather trim with carbon fibre inlays, and you also get this leather wrapped steering wheel with this red stitching, which looks really nice. And the steering offers only tilt adjustment, not reach, but overall pretty simple layout and pretty comfortable car to sit in. You also get a remote key, keyless entry and push button start. And moving on to infotainment, it all runs off this 10.1-inch digital display. It is a touchscreen. There are also some shortcut buttons down here for climate control, volume, a home button. However, for additional climate features, you still need to go into a separate menu for direction of flow, AC and recirculation. But overall, it is a fairly simple system to work out first go. And in terms of features, it comes with inbuilt satellite navigation with 3D mapping, as well as FM radio, AM radio, a 6-speaker audio system, Bluetooth for telephone and music streaming, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And in terms of safety assistance, if I just flick it into reverse, as you can see, it has a surround view camera, which you can shift it from 2D to 3D, and that will give you the ability to cycle through different views around the car. And overall, the picture quality is pretty decent. You also get rear parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection, lane departure warning with traffic jam assist, and traffic sign limit assist. And this stalk here controls the adaptive cruise control. So you have a radar at the front for emergency braking. So that means you get forward collision warning, as well as a speed limiter inbuilt into the cruise control. And up ahead is an analog gauge classer. So fairly simple layout. It has all the essentials with this little digital instrument display, which you can cycle through different menus on the steering wheel, showing trip information, assistance features from MG Pilot Assist. So overall, pretty decent configuration. And lastly, moving on to practicality. So the doors themselves on the side bins fit a litre of water. In the centre, there's a decent size centre console with 2 small cup holders in the centre and a spot here for a mobile phone. And if you look inside the cup holders, there's a little text saying the new MGZS. Other storage items, a spot there for a mobile phone with 2 USB-A charging ports and a 12-volt socket, and a decent size glove box. So, although pretty spacious and practical cabin. Okay, moving on to the back seats inside the ZST. So I'm a full-size adult. As you can see, I've got good knee room, toe room, and headroom. And in the middle seat, as you can see, plenty of space for my toes, headroom and good knee room as well. And in terms of other items, I see a spot here for a mobile phone with 2 USB-A charging ports, as well as some mat pockets behind the driver and passenger seat, and these door bins will fit a litre of water. And lastly, for baby seats, 2 ISOFIX points with 3 top tether points right behind me. Okay, moving on to boot space. If I lift up the MG badge, that reveals a nice wide opening. It is worth mentioning, however, there is a load lip here, but although you have 359 litres of boot space. And you also get a dual floor setup, so you can just lift that down quite easily, giving you additional space if you're going to carry bulkier items. And that also reveals 2 nets either side of the boot floor to keep items separated. And under the floor you have a temporary spare wheel, so no run flat tyres. This car will not leave you stranded on the side of the road. And lastly, you can fold the seats down, so if you go to the rear doors, pull up the strap. As you can see, with all seats folded, there's plenty of space. So although this is a very practical, small little SUV, let's now move on to the powertrain. Okay, moving on to the powertrain. So this Excite model grade and the Essence, the top spec, will feature this 3-cylinder 1.3 litre turbocharged petrol engine, and it produces 115 kilowatts and 230 newton meters of torque, and it's mated to a 6-speed torque converter gearbox, and power is sent to the front wheels. So it'll be interesting to see how this performs on the road. So without further ado, let's now take it for a drive. Okay, moving on to the driving impressions. So around town, if you do a lot of city driving, this can be fun to drive. The steering has a nice weight to it. It's pretty responsive. You can dart it through corners pretty nicely. And in terms of the driving position, you can sit pretty high, so that will give you a nice clear view of your surroundings up front. And around the city, it's a good size, so that means it's easy to park, as I will now demonstrate. So you've got the surround view camera, good large wing mirrors, and you can also see the gutter from the camera just down there. So as you can see, that's very easy to do. So in terms of travelling around the urban jungle, I think this would be a really good car. On a combined cycle, MG claims this car will achieve 7.1 litres per 100. I'm currently averaging under 8, which is, I think, where it should be for a car of this class. And accelerating. So if you do a lot of freeway driving, this engine definitely has enough power to get you out of trouble, so I think this would be the powertrain to go for. And plus you're getting the added 6-speed ZF gearbox, which drives much better than a CVT. And in terms of ride comfort, I'm travelling at 80 kilometres and it's soaking up the bumps really well on these broken back roads of the Southern Highlands. So it seems to me the suspension has been tuned to be comfortable, not sporty. I think for everyday driving, that's perfect. So let's now try out its assistance features. So I'll set the distance behind this Land Cruiser. This car has the ability, as you can see there, to steer itself into the lane. Eventually you've got to put your hands back onto the wheel. It all works really well, just like you would find in a European car, and now that that car is slowing down, the car is now slowing down. So just keep in mind, all of this is an assistance feature. It's not a self-driving car, but in terms of what this car was actually designed to do and what it competes with within cars in this price point, I think it does a really good job. So with the short driving impressions out of the way, let's now wrap up the video with a verdict. So what do I think overall about the MGZST? Well, I think for a car of this class, it's well priced, it's well equipped, it's got good technology and safety features, and you've got the added benefit of a 7-year warranty. So if you're in the market for a lower cost alternative to a smaller SUV, this is definitely a car you should consider. So I hope you like this video. Please like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next film.